Hi guys, Claudia Boleyn here, and today I've got some really exciting news that I've been bursting to tell you for ages, and that news is that I'm going to be on TV. So yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are, probably, about this development. I wanted to tell you for a while, and for a while I wasn't sure if it was actually going to happen, so I didn't want to sort of jinx it and push my luck. Basically, I'm going to be in a documentary which is called Me and My Mental Illness. I've spoken about this documentary before. It was actually this documentary last year, I think it was, that made me start talking about borderline personality disorder online. It was what gave me the confidence to do that, and I actually mentioned that in my YouTube video, which you can find here if you look it up. I'll put that on the screen for you. And it turns out that the producer and director of the show was looking for some people with borderline personality disorder. They wanted someone to talk about it because in this documentary they're going to talk to people with different mental illnesses or disorders to find out kind of what it's like, how we deal with it. And it just so happened that they came across this video, so it kind of felt like fate, because the programme was the reason I made that video in the first place, and why I have started talking about having borderline personality disorder so much online. And it's really helped me in so many ways. So you can imagine how overwhelmed I was when they got in touch, when the TV company got in touch. And so it started out with, I had to have a few Skype calls, just sort of seeing if I was suitable for it, and then apparently they had some sort of short list of people they had to decide who they actually wanted in the show. And this was at the very end of last year. So I didn't think that they would pick me. I didn't think that they'd really want me for it, because this show is going to have a couple of famous people in it as well. I don't know if I can say who's going to be in it, so I won't. But yeah, it's got a mixture of ordinary people and famous people. Not that famous people aren't ordinary. But I thought, you know, they wouldn't really want to talk to me. And some time passed and I thought, okay, so they haven't picked me for it, which is fair enough. And then it got to after Christmas, a couple of weeks ago, and I got another email and a phone call, and they said, yeah, they'd really like me to do it. And so I said yes. It was really difficult for me, actually, because it required travelling to London, which for me is a huge pressure. I was talking to the producer director lady, who's so lovely. Honestly, the whole little group that I worked with was lovely. Like, for some reason you imagine that TV people won't be nice, but they were so nice and accommodating. Maybe because they're doing a documentary about people with mental illness, but they were so accommodating for me. But I was talking to her and she said that, you know, a lot of people feel very nervous about the actual talking about mental health because it's sort of an interview kind of thing. I don't really have any issue with that. I'm quite open about that kind of thing, and you know I do YouTube anyway, so that doesn't bother me. But the travel there really bothers me, because you know that I don't travel without a member of my family. So for a while I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it. We had this plan that I was going to go up with my grandma and granddad, and my brother was going to meet me up there. And then the night before we were due to film, I had the hugest panic attack meltdown, could not stop crying, and I cancelled it. So I thought, that's it, you know, I've messed up my opportunity, I can't deal with it. You know, it's weird because it's a show about mental illness and my own mental illness had let me down. And I felt so disappointed with myself because I thought, I really want to raise awareness, and it was so frustrating that my own illness was stopping me from talking about the illness and potentially helping other people, like the show helped me. But the next day, after I had cried a lot and I was all puffy-eyed and I thought, oh, I'm letting all my opportunities go, like, you know, the usual thing that happens after you get bad panic attacks and your mental illness, like, lets you down. I got another call from the director and she said, look, can I come for a chat? And we discussed it again, and they were so accommodating and so nice, and she wanted me on the show. So they kind of worked around me, so they managed to change the schedule slightly so that I was able to have my mum travel up with me. We went straight to Greenwich in the car, filmed at the studio, and then they got us a taxi back home again. So I was there for a few hours, and it was a struggle for me, but I'm okay with travelling if I have like a member of my family with me. So having my mum there was really great. It was quite nerve-wracking because I'll explain sort of how it was set up to you. It was like an interview situation. So the director, producer lady was asking me questions like interview questions, but she's not on camera, so I was looking into the camera that the cameraman has, but there was sort of like a mirror sort of on it, and on what I could see reflected on the camera was the woman interviewing me. So it looks like I'm talking directly to her. They put a mic on me as well. I was a little bit nervous because they said, oh, you might have to take your necklace off because, you know, of sound. But the producer was like, no, it's part of who she is, we need it. So I was really, really pleased about that. I got to talk about Anne Boleyn quite a lot. I don't know what they're using for the programme because, like I said, I think there's about 7 or 8 of us in the show. And it's only a 45, 50-minute programme, so I might only be on for 5 minutes or something, I don't know. But my interview went on for about 50 minutes, and I spoke about loads of things. How I cope with it, the diagnosis, what school was like, how other people react to it, what I'd like people to know about BPD. I spoke a little bit about Emmerdale and Doctor Who in terms of characters that pull me through it, and how when you have BPD you kind of latch on to different identities and fandoms to kind of help you through. I spoke about such a wide variety of stuff, and it's all such a blur to me that I can't really remember what I said, but my mum was watching on the monitor from the other room when we were filming, and she said I came across well, so hopefully it's okay. I'm kind of nervous about actually being on TV, just because I guess the vanity side of it. On YouTube I'm very much in charge of the way I'm presented and the way I come across, but that's in the hands of the edit now, so I'm slightly nervous about that. You know, small vanity things like, oh my god, what if I look really ugly and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous about that, but I feel so excited to be doing this and overwhelmed that I have done it. I mean, what a way to start 2018, because the whole reason I started talking about mental health stuff on YouTube was because when I was struggling with mine, there wasn't enough information for me out there, and especially not with things like BPD. And I've spoken about it quite a lot this past year, and in a way it feels like it's sort of paid off, because if I'm able to be that person, like on the show last year there was a woman, I think her name was Janet, and she spoke about borderline personality disorder, and she's older than I am, and it gave me real confidence to see an older woman talking about it, because I thought, wow, you know, she's got further on in her life age-wise than I have, I can do this. And the fact she was talking about it so openly and without shame, I felt so good watching it, and I can't even explain how good that felt. And the idea that I could potentially be that person for someone else is just amazing. So I feel so excited about it, and I just hope that I come across well, even though I'm slightly nervous. So I had to talk to a psychologist before I did it, because apparently anyone who's on TV has to talk to a psychologist about, you know, the potential, what might happen afterwards. I'm not anticipating becoming a celebrity from this TV show. I'll probably be on it for like 5 minutes or something, I don't know. But they have to do this with everyone. I think I'm okay. Like, obviously, because the topic is mental health, there might be trolling on Twitter, that kind of thing. People talk about these things a lot, there could be articles about it, but I'm prepared for that. I think YouTube has prepared me pretty well for that, because you get quite a lot of trolling. And it's worth it in a way, because if it reaches someone else with borderline personality disorder, then I think it's worth it personally, so I can take that, it's fine. But I am really excited to tell you about it, so yeah, it is going ahead. It's going to be on Channel 5. There isn't an air date yet. They're thinking potentially end of Feb, but we're not sure. They're going to let me know, so I will let you know in advance if you want to see me for the first time on television. Yeah, I'm nervous but so excited. I'll let you know about it when it's coming on. We actually took some of my books and things with me, so I don't know if it'll be in the show. I had to film some shots of just sort of like reading. I was reading an Emmerdale book because I thought, look, if any of the Emmerdale cast and crew are watching this, you know my ambition is to write for soap, and ideally Emmerdale. I love Emmerdale so much. I'm a bit of a super fan. And like ideally I want to be like a scriptwriter for that show, so I was thinking like, get a bit of Emmerdale in there. We brought loads of my Anne Boleyn stuff with me, and they set it up behind me in this sort of display, and they took some shots. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll know when you see the show if they use it. So I felt really at home, and the people were so nice, and it just feels like such a highlight for me of my whole life in a way, because from the little girl I was that didn't even know how to put this stuff into words, the fact that my YouTube channel has led to me being asked to do this and potentially raise more awareness in the UK is so amazing. I feel so passionately about talking about borderline personality disorder, you know I do, and I'm so passionate that it's not something to be ashamed of at all, especially in this age of, you know, oh, diagnose bad people with personality disorders, when people don't know anything about personality disorders, you know, they don't know anything. I'm really passionate about that, so fingers crossed I do the group of us who have BPD justice. in this show, and it does some good, and I'm not too embarrassed by it. I think I did okay. I don't know, you'll have to let me know. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know about that. So I am going to be on TV. Okay, I love you loads. I'll see you really soon. I just wanted to let you know, and I'll be making more videos soon, I guess. Okay, right, I love you loads. See you really soon. Bye.